What's that? Howls from the woods. Movement under the water. Something you notice out of the corner of your eye, but your look is gone. This is Cryptid Talk. Hello, everyone. Sorry if I sound a little crummy or if just things don't sound right on my end. I'm hoping this is working correctly with my microphone. The program I use, the program I use shows normally shows the levels of like oh it's good bad kind of thing, but I'm not getting any levels at all whatsoever. I did some test recordings real quick, and my audio, like, you can hear me, so if it sounds a little different or sounds a little weird, I apologize. Yeah, I've been fighting off a some sort of cold or something. I wake up in the morning with like a fever. Yesterday, I think today I woke up with a 102 fever, but I had to take medicine and I had to go to work because I kind of need some of the time that I have remaining left. So I take a bunch of medicine, and then by the rest of the day, I'm pretty fine. So if I sound like I have like a cough drop in my mouth, what I do, or I stop for a moment to take like a sip, then I really am trying to limit the amount of coughing I do and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to negate that. So if it sounds a little weird and off, I apologize. Try my best. I was considering not recording this week, but I, besides just the coughing, which I've had worse coughing than this, and this is pretty good. I'm just gonna go with it because if I didn't record this week, I was gonna make sure I recorded 2 episodes for next week to make up for that. But so far, seems to be going fine. Sorry, I'm really trying everything I possibly can to not. I got a little thing of water here. I try to keep my throat, not as irritated and stuff like that, because I just feel it, and I'm trying not to. So I'm doing everything I possibly can. So if it sounds bad or like I can't do this anymore, I understand. But yeah, so I'm trying everything I can to fight this, and because I have a tendency whenever I get sick, it's always with some sort of cough. I get sick for like months and months. Like normally, whenever I used to get sick, I would get like this cough, and I'd be sick for like at least a month. But last time I got like really sick, like one of the worst times I got sick, I think I was like sick for like 4 months with like this cough, everlasting cough and everything. And I would do everything I had an inhaler that would help with it. I tried, like I was thinking, like Robitussin. Like I was doing everything I possibly can with what we had without me having to go to the doctor. Sure, like yeah, if I went to a doctor, they probably would have given me stuff to heal me up faster. But I'm like, trying to avoid that if I possibly can. But it is just a real pain in the butt whenever I get sick, and I just get sick like a dog. Like ugh. So I'm trying my best to limit the coughing and stuff like that I do during this. So just bear with me and everything like that. But I hope you are all doing well. I hope you're all not sick or fighting everything or anything like that. And I hoping you're and I hope you're doing well. And I hope you're ready for the weekend because I sure am waiting for excited for it because it's Labor Day. Making sure I got this correct. Uh, of course, my calendar on my laptop doesn't tell me what holidays days are, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Labor Day, and for me that's a 3-day weekend, so an extra 3 days to get better and to not feel like absolute death next week. Oh, and before we do start, I was a little. If you're listening to last week's episode, I was a little delayed. I mentioned that I was going to be putting a poll up for the next week for the next Cryptid video I'll be doing, and so I left a little thing for people to vote for it. And let me go check on it real quick to see where we're at right now. Still only 4 votes, But if you go over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Cryptid Talk, I got a poll going up on there of the next topic for the next episode. And so far, right now, my choices for next week's episode are, dinosaur cryptids, giant animals, the Dover Demon, or Megalodon. At the moment, only 4 people have voted, but that's what I'm trying to keep it up as long as possible, get more people voted and stuff like that. But so far at the moment, with the 4 votes that there are, the 4 votes are for Megalodon so far. So I guess so far people seem to be interested in that. So if you haven't voted already, head over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Cryptid Talk. There'll be a link. There'll be a link for this on the actually no, that'll be on the Facebook page. But yeah, there will be a link at in the video for the Facebook page. So click the link and head over and vote. Because I'm curious to see if we can get it divided, or is everyone going to be mainly leaning towards Megalodon? So we'll see. So yeah, so head over there and give a vote. All right, so this week's episode. What are we talking about this week's episode? Well, actually, I would actually consider this cryptid probably in the first 5 cryptids that a lot of people hear of first. So you have Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. I would throw in Mothman in there. Who else? Who else would someone say? Now, I would probably, maybe like throw like Yeti in there, but I'm trying to like differentiate between because we got Bigfoot, so I was kind of throwing like a hairy hominoid like creature, mainly Bigfoot would, people probably start with, but what else is there? I can't think of anything, but yeah, but this one is probably one of the first few one that people think of, and we're doing. If you looked at the title, you already know what we're talking about. But we're talking about the Chupacabra. So very interesting, interesting cryptid that to say for sure. And the whole I forget where I first learned about Chupacabra. Probably some documentary show on Discovery or History Channel. Like, here's the interesting thing about me. Deep down, like, I'm a gamer. Like, I love playing video games and stuff like that. But I also had a weird. But then there's the other side of me that I loved History Channel. History Channel, I think, came a little bit later. A few things here and there, if they were talking anything about like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster. But Discovery Channel and Animal Planet were like my 2 biggest shows. Like, remember, like my 2 biggest like things where I watch that kind of stuff. Like, sure, there might have been some history stuff on History Channel every there and there, but Animal Planet and Discovery Channel, those are like my 2 main sources of nature. That's where a lot of stuff that I know today came from both those channels, and then History Channel came a little bit later. Because I don't know, I always thought History Channel was a bit more like school at home in a way. That may not be 100% accurate, but I always kind of thought of it like that. But I would watch all the shows there. I can't remember. I bet if I look back, I would be able to find the show. But there's this one particular show that I was on Discovery Channel. I used to watch that show a lot. And I just remember that I think the logo was the Earth and a tiger, like was on like the side of it, and the tiger would be running at like towards the camera, and it would be it was like running in water, so it was splashing around, and it had like little or like some like little like tone of like or like name of show. Like they always talk about this, and I'll be like, oh, it's like, all right, cool. What are we talking about? What's this episode about? And a lot of times, like obviously being a young boy, who's into like dinosaurs and like stuff like stuff like that. If it wasn't about reptiles or even anything in like the ocean, if we even got to like certain mammals or like birds, I was like, I'm not interested. I was like, oh, let me change to this. Like, ooh, SpongeBob, kind of thing. But that's where I got a lot of stuff from. That's where I started, seeing more of these shows, with Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. And at some point, I probably somewhere along the line, I saw something for the Chupacabra. Because because obviously, everyone has heard of, the chupacabra, being like, a chupacabra also means goat sucker, or to them it was el chupacabra or stuff like that. Excuse me. And so I was like, okay, this thing is kind of neat. It's like, oh my god, it's like, it's attacking and sucking the blood out of goats. Oh my gosh, like, I think that was probably, I think probably it was probably like one of the first cryptids I think I actually got a little scared of. I think because it was so. Also, sorry, the thing's not showing normally the levels of my stuff, so I'm just making sure I'm not telling too far away. So it sounds like the audio keeps dipping in and out, or I keep saying like closer or farther away. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out why the program is being a little jerk right now. Anywho, so yeah, so I think the chupacabra is probably one of the first cryptids I actually got like scared of in a way, because it wasn't some big hulking creature or something like that. It was something that was, as a lot of descriptions say, about the size of like a small bear. But you know what? Hold on. I'm surprised I didn't look at this earlier. Um. Okay. Yeah. So all right. So about the size of a small bear, about approximately like 3 to 4 feet in size. So interesting. So yeah. So small bear. and And so yeah, so the chupacabra has always been one of those, like, I would always say, like, one of the most like well-known cryptids in the United States, if not at least the world, just because of how far farther known it is. But we'll get into that a little bit. So chupacabra, what is it, kind of thing. Well, the sightings for the chupacabra started in 1995 in Puerto Rico, uh, and a lot of parts in Hispanic America, but mainly started in Puerto Rico, where livestock, or mainly goats at first, were being attacked by some unknown creature. And whenever they found them, they always found them with their blood drained from their bodies. There was like there's no blood, like there was like no like blood anywhere around the wounds, around the animal, or anything like that. It's like literally someone took a straw on the goat and went and just suck all the blood out of there, and just like, Bloody Mary, and then just enjoyed themselves from there. And so, they all, and then that's where the name El Chupacabra came from. There was some creature that was sucking up sucking the blood of all the goats. And then over time, certain other animals will start being affected as well. Chickens being another big one too. Not so much like cattle, but there would be the occasional one where some cattle were being attacked in some way. But originally, it was really just small mammals, goats or goats and chickens is where it started from there. And even unfortunately, like originally, some pets were even unfortunately taken. So dogs and cats, which is always unfortunate, because if I was in a situation, like if I was aware that something like this or any sort of creature was attacking like a pet that I own, you 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 for sure, I am going to dive in front of I'm going to get between me and that. I'm going to get between me, like, yeah, the pet and them. I'm getting in between them so that thing cannot get to my pet, and I will fight that thing to the death. So if you have a pet, we're going to sidetrack for a moment, just real quick. If you have a pet, dog, cat, bird, hamster, guinea pig, horse, like whatever, especially if it's like a dog or like a cat, which I feel like I'm a bit more protective over than other creatures, kind of thing. If they're next to you right now, while you're listening, or when you get home, give them a nice big hug. Give a nice big hug and pet them and say you love them. Say you love your pet, and you'll defend them from anything if it ever came up. Because I've a lot of stories I've hear of, like cryptids like attacking like pets and stuff like that, and a lot of times the people do defend their pets, and unfortunately sometimes they're not able to, or something like that, which is always hard to hear. But love, defend, and protect your pet, because pets are family, just like any sibling, family member, anything that you have. So protect your pets. They they love you, so you better love them with all your heart. So yeah, so this thing was a real big problem in the time, and when people finally started seeing this thing, it was a very weird, strange creature. Because the description of it is so very strange. Like, this clearly can't be anything that is like of like Earth. Because the description of the creature, let's see, I know I wrote it down here somewhere. Here we go. Its appearance has always seemed to be very reptilian or alien-like. It looks like it has like some sort of like scales or just some weird like green skin. Yeah, size of small bears. It's got another big description of these things. That thing gets a lot is a row of spikes starting from its head and then going all the way down its back and all the way through its tail that it has. So very interesting looking design for sure. And its legs are kind of like how do you describe these legs? I can't really think of like how to like describe them kind of thing, but like it's just got very like kangaroo like legs. And that's how a lot of people describe it when it like runs in some ways. It looks like it's like a kangaroo and it's hopping away. Clearly it's not a kangaroo, but I mean, hey, it would be kind of interesting. It was like a vampire species of like kangaroo existed. That'd be kind of crazy and terrifying at the same time because even though kangaroos look pretty cute because they are the deer of Australia, some kangaroos can be kind of jerks. Real like at least deer try to leave you alone. Kangaroos will literally like voluntarily go up to you and like hit you, and then they hop away. Anywho, so this is the description of that people normally gave the chupacabra. With it also seemed to have like these big old black eyes, so kind of going back towards the alien look of it, kind of like how people describe grays and stuff like that, with the big old black eyes and no pupils or anything like that. So kind of pretty creepy looking, I'm not gonna lie. And and when you really do look at this thing, it's like how like there's no way. I mean, as from what we know, let me change the statement around a little bit. From what we know of, from what we know of science and everything, there is no way that something like this should technically exist because there's just like again, I'm not speaking this in particular to like me, like what I think, because we'll get to that we'll get to that later. But for like from what the world knows, from what we know of science and evolution and stuff like that, this thing should not exist. It like everything about it just screams like nature should not have made this. But I think there's many things in this world, many things that I think there's parts of this world that we know nothing about. It's like that whole thing where I say that I believe in some form or fashion, magic or something equivalent to it, exists because it's just on how it is and everything like that. Because I always hear these weird stories of people, noticing these really strange things and stuff like that that they shouldn't be possible and everything like that. Okay, let me get that off. Turn the sound off from that because I'm pretty sure I turned it off, but I keep getting notifications from Discord and I can't see it, but I keep hearing like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, all right, calm down, people. So yeah, so it is pretty interesting that Chupacabra has like this look to it in a way, and it's kind of just it's crazy because like it's like something like this should not exist, but I believe there's a lot more in this world that we can't scientifically even comprehend, and I believe it could possibly come from there. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so the Chupacabra has been cited as, let's see, as far south as Chile, but as far north as Maine. So now, are all those things like the chupacabra, or are we getting like some other kind of creatures that are getting in along with the fun or something similar to it? But a lot of people, like, I guess the people are saying that they're seeing something like that as far as Maine. So who knows? Now, could there be like other things that could possibly do the same thing? It's hard to say. There's a, I think that's what it's called. There's another kind of vampire-like creature. I believe it is. Hold on. Wait, I saw it. Okay, I believe this is in North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. There's another well-known vampire like blood sucking cryptid, and it's called the vampire beast of Blantonboro in North Carolina. We'll go into this one real quick, where there was like same idea, animals and like other animals like livestock and pets were getting like their blood takes sucking, they're getting like their blood sucked out and being killed and everything. And and of course, they had all these these sightings and stuff like that. But it was, and then at some point the creature just apparently just vanished. But then all of a sudden it just started like coming back. There started to be sightings and these, strange animal deaths and everything like that. I went to a point where this was actually on Monster Quest, where a man that they were, like, that was helping them with the investigation, showed them a picture that he took like after they left. He got a picture of a creature that they saw, because the people saw like this weird like feet like long, it's like feline like creature, not necessarily like this description of chupacabra or something very like something more feline, and took a picture of a mountain lion or cougar. And the picture on the phone was not very good, but you could clearly see there's the shape, the color, like you can clearly see it. And it's one of those ideas that the mountain lion should be like extinct, like east of the Mississippi or east of the Rockies, I believe, or something like that. I think it's Mississippi, but mm, we won't get too far in deep into it. But yeah, so apparently in this particular area, a lot of these attacks might have actually been more of a big cat, like a mountain lion, and which yeah, because they've got long sharp fangs. They use to get a bite into their prey, and a lot of times, like a lot of big cats. Sorry, a little coughing fit there. that big cats, when they hunt, like lions and tigers, they always go for the throat of their prey so that they can suffocate it, and then help it bring it down faster. And that's where a lot of these bite marks were. And now the interesting thing about now, stepping away from that one a little bit, could it be the reasoning behind some of these? Maybe, but a lot of times, a lot of people who have seen the creature have always described it, looking like like that. But sorry, I need to get a little sip of water. Ah, that feels good. But the other interesting thing is that this look of the chupacabra originally started and seems to be more commonly known in Puerto Rico and Hispanic America. What's interesting though is that in the southern parts of the United States, especially around Texas, the United States seem to have its own slightly different version of the chupacabra, and this one seems to be a bit more canid or canine in a way, which is kind of interesting. Now, because then there started to be very similar attacks, like the one like in Puerto Rico, animals having their blood sucked out and everything like that. And then, of course, people start seeing the creature, some possible like corpses and stuff like that, and it's really I've seen a lot of these things when they're looking at the chupacabra and everything, and I'm still wondering, like like what is like, because obviously the Puerto Rico one and then the one in like southern Texas in the Texas, I would consider two complete different things. So it could be more like you can go with the original Chupacabra being Chupacabra A, and then the American one being Chupacabra like B or something like that, because its description is so much more different that you can't like call both the creatures the Chupacabra, because one just seems to fit a lot more, while the other one seems more canine. And I can say for all of them, but I will say that probably some of these, at least American sightings, are a pretty good chance that a lot of them are coyotes or foxes with mange. And if you know what mange is, unfortunately, it's a very bad disease where all your hair, falls out. And I believe I believe it's a parasite, or like a, what is mange? Yeah, okay. It's a type of skin disease caused by parasitic mites. So these mites just bite all around you, just like causing all your hair to fall out. Your skin starts getting bumpy and like looks deformed looking and everything. And so it makes you look like this monster. And and some of these things, like I've seen like bears with mange and stuff like that. And you ever seen a bear with like no hair? It looks crazy looking. It doesn't look like a bear at all. Hold on. We're on Google Images right now. Hold on. Bear with mange. Yeah, it looks like this weird hairless, like hyena looking hybrid monster. I mean, it is unfortunate that mange is a very terrible disease, and it's unfortunate that some animals do have to unfortunately deal with the consequences of it. Not consequences, just the side effects of it. But yeah, bears with mange look very strange because they don't have the poofiness that that their fur gives them. And they look like these just they look like this strange monster creature thing. But still going. But yeah, so I do believe that some of them are probably along those lines. There are people who have gotten like possible corpses of these things and like stuff like that. And like yeah, sure, coyotes and foxes do have like some do have canines. That's like the big thing that that they have to grasp on the prey and stuff like that, so they can hunt. But people always say that whenever they find like these corpses of these creatures, that the fangs just look so much more bigger than they probably normally would be. So then they're like, okay, well maybe it is something kind of thing. People think it's like it's hard to say. I believe more of the Puerto Rican chupacabra, more like alien, like biped like creature thing, a bit more likely than the North American like canine version. But I can't say for sure. But just from what I've seen and what I've read and everything, I, I I'm not 100% convinced. I'm like 75 pretty sure it's a misidentification of normal animals. But then there's always still like that chance of we don't know for sure. Now I know in some of these shows they have gone and like DNA tests of some of these, and I forget what some of them were. Yeah, because sure, some of them they did. Yeah, have been like coyotes with mange. It's like severe cases of mange. Because some cases of mange are way worse than others. Some of them still have the patch of hair. Some of them lose all their hair completely. Sorry, sip of water. And so, and I know it's hard to think. So I can't really say 100% sure what I if the but people are sure that some of these creatures that they are seeing cannot possibly be coyotes or foxes, because like a lot of these. So let's rewind the clock a little bit. A lot of like the generic chupacabra sightings have always been seen as they what is this? Okay. Is that there was no blood anywhere. All the blood was all sucked from the body of the goats or the chickens. But that's it. They weren't eaten. They were just nothing. They were just devoid of all blood in their bodies. So in most cases, the argument people make is that, well, these were really like coyotes and stuff like that, and like they're sick, and they're probably might be like desperate for food. That if they would take anything that they would probably can and dive into that thing and make a meal out of it. But so it's hard to say how animals truly would be like. Yeah, sure. Or would most animals with mange probably want to take every possible food opportunity they can and not waste any amount of food on it instead of just killing just for the heck of it or something. But of course, there's a lot of things that we've seen in front of animals and stuff like that that we thought we knew, but in reality, we were not even close. So it's kind of hard to say. Like okay, we think the animal should what's the word I'm looking for? Should move and not move, but should behave in this way. But wait, all of a sudden, wait, it's behaving in a different way. Wait, what? I know it's it's a little, it's kind of crazy at the moment, kind of way. So it's hard to tell, really. But so we can never be too sure about how animals are. Like, just going back real quick, a big argument that a lot of people have is about sperm whales. Sperm whales are used, their front of their head was used for like echolocation and for travel and communication and stuff like that with other whales and finding food and all the other stuff that echolocation does. And they don't believe that that they would ever use their heads as like battering rams of other males to fight over females. Well, one person like who's flying a plane, a little biped plane, saw this interaction happening of two whales bumping heads for a female that was actually about like a mile or two away. So we think one thing about animals, and the next thing you know, they do something completely different that they shouldn't. They're like, wait, you shouldn't behave that way. You're supposed to behave this way, and they're like, nah, let me behave this way. You're like, what? So I can't judge out that an animal that has mange, wouldn't be desperate for any food. They would just kill just for the heck of the killing. But it's hard to say. It really is. So I really can't say that much about that. But because obviously, of course, there's. I wouldn't be surprised though, because they say that the chupacabra. Sorry, I'm adjusting my legs. That chupacabra is seen as far north of Maine and stuff like that. So it could be possible that some of these the Puerto Rican version of the chupacabra, possibly maybe did come more north and stuff like that. And so who knows? That's why it's like I don't know. Like the chupacabra is just such an interesting cryptid that like again, it's just one of the things that like I mean, sure, like people could maybe argue something for like Dogman and stuff like that. Maybe like it may be Lizard Man, but like there is nothing similar to like the chupacabra, like with like anything really, especially with what it does with sucking blood and everything else like that. Let's see. But another interesting thing is that the chupacabra really started becoming a real big thing in 1995. Well, apparently though, in Mocha, Puerto Rico, in 1975, in that town, there were livestock killings that happened in the area. And they probably, and people thought didn't think much of it because all they really found was just the livestock dead with their blood drained and the puncture wounds on their necks and stuff like that. But to them, they thought that it actually was satanic cults that were performing rituals with the livestock. But of course, this was before they even had any sort of idea that there was some sort of creature doing this, and they thought like, oh, what else would do this? Oh, probably people. No animal could do this kind of thing. And so probably it just went from there. It's like, okay, that's interesting. But But yeah, so who knows how long chupacabra stuff, really really started doing things. Like chupacabra may have been doing things for a long time, but people may not put it together. But 1975 seems to be the earliest of what I was able to find at the moment of sight of, like stuff like starting like this. Because who knows, maybe stuff started way in the past, but no, because like if you live in areas where like livestock is like your income, like it is your life. If stuff like this started happening like beforehand of animals dying, I feel like there have been like reports and this stuff like that way before 1975, and even when it got bigger in 1995. So it's hard to say, like, so okay, so then that kind of goes to like, all right, well, if let's say like the chupacabra really started getting going in 1975. Let's say that. What and then so okay, so if it started then, was it not doing anything beforehand, or was it killing like like deer or other local animals? But then maybe when it became difficult with me with like hunters and other people, they're like, "Ooh, look at these animals that are all in this nice little buffet for me. I can just pick them out. I need to hunt for them. They're all just right there. Just go oh, one go, two go, three go, chicken. And it just has a nice little buffet. But it's hard to say. Oh, actually, I forgot to write this down, but I remembered it. That another interesting thing about now I can't say this for every report, but a lot of there were a lot of I guess of the crime scenes of where these attacks happened. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, Mike. Okay, where we're around we're around these chickens and goats, because obviously especially chickens, you try to like if a predator tries to go in your chickens, they go bark, bark, they go crazy, they flutter around, like they make a real big commotion and like make a lot of like like what's the word I'm looking for, like make a lot of commotion, and like they really make a mess of the area when like some sort of like scuffle happened, when a predator comes. But with a lot of these sightings, there was for a time, again I can't say for all of them, but there were a lot of them where the it didn't look like there was a struggle. It's almost like the goats or the chicken just stood there and just let it happen. And so again, it's hard because again, good people would make the argument like chickens would make a lot more of a fuss. They'd be like they're like blah 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 blah, like they'd be like freaking out, like flapping their wings around, like the feathers all over the place. Like no, there was nothing. There would just be just the body of the chicken right there, or the goat, with no sign of any, turmoil or anything of fighting back or anything, and it just being, and they just look around and be like, there's no hoof print, there's like nothing showing of any sort of struggle, and it's like it just accepted death and just laid there. Which then came to another theory of what a chupacabra might do, is that maybe it hypnotizes its prey to be like, stand still, let me get your nail, and and then go and bite the neck and do its thing. But then again, and then you start getting into the realm of like things of like, well, that's impossible. Like that's like nothing in nature can do that. So maybe that kind of goes in the whole thing of I possibly think that maybe chupacabras are, maybe something extraterrestrial, just on how their look and their characteristics. Now, I can't say that for sure because I got no real evidence, but it's an interesting theory, like theory hypothesis. I'm trying to make sure I say correctly, because Cliff Barrickman says there is a difference between, and I'm trying not to say the incorrect thing. I believe it's theory, and then a hypothesis is where you have evidence to support that kind of thing. So theory is like, I believe this, and a hypothesis is like, I still think that. It's one of those things. But just because of what it's able to do and what it looks like, it just doesn't seem like anything of this earth. So, sure, you could say the cheap answer is that, something of, extraterrestrial or something like that. But It's hard to say because some people believe that a theory that Earth is like a prison planet for a lot of creatures. So like Chupacabra, Lizard Man, Dog Man. Some people think Bigfoot is extraterrestrial because of so-called like powers that it has and everything sometimes. and so and the aliens like drop them off here. It's like, all right, your life sentence on Earth. Have fun, don't die. They're like, no. Again, I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's definitely an interesting theory. But it's, I mean, until we know for sure, even anyone's guess is as good as anyone. Like I believe that this is probably something a lot more like physical. Which, yeah, sure, it being an alien, extraterrestrial of some sort, could be that way. But like how if that is the case, like are there multiple of these things? Is this just one that's able to get around really quickly? Like, there's a lot of questions when it comes to a cryptid like this because I don't believe there's ever been a sighting or report where someone said they saw more than one of these things. Because there have been multiple reports of people seeing multiple dog man before and lizard man before and stuff like that. Only ever one mothman, but there are some cryptids where people have seen multiple of them, like especially like smaller versions, like offspring and stuff like that. So shows some sort of like breeding and stuff like that. But it's hard to say. Definitely interesting nonetheless, though. But like it's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to say, and some people think that maybe some of these, chupacabra, maybe it's some sort of like scientific experiment gone wrong. I don't know. Obviously, no, that's no real evidence of that one either. But people say like, oh well, the government does a lot of stuff, and I think there are some stuff the government does hide about something. Whether or not what exactly it is, what they know of, and what they're trying to keep like a low key about, I don't know for sure. But I can say for sure that there are some things that they are aware of in some form or fashion, but I can't say for sure or like comfortably say that that is the case. But let's see. so going back a little bit to what I said about it's like hypnosis powers. As far as I'm aware, there's only been one report that I saw of a person being affected by this, because there was a child that was attacked by a chupacabra. Sorry, I gotta get a cough drop. Yeah, these cherry halls are a freaking relief, or fucking like relief to me because they just taste so good. Yum 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 yum. And into the trash bag. Yes, made it. So yes, there was a person attacked by supposedly by a chupacabra, and this was years ago when I saw it in a special, and then read about it later, where there was a young man in the backyard, and I don't remember if he saw it or heard it first, but I think he looked. It was either he looked up and saw this creature. Yeah, that's what it was. He was in his backyard, and on top of like their shed, I believe, saw this very strange creature, like these big eyes, green skin, and just very, very strange looking. And next thing you know, this thing jumps and attacks him. He's like scratching him, like doesn't seem to be like bite, like doing like the normal like chupacabra thing of like biting their neck and stuff like that. But while he's attacking him, the young man, the young boy in his head hears, "Don't struggle, don't scream. It'll all be over soon," or something like that. Now, you could argue like it'll all be over soon, like I'm gonna kill you now, kind of thing. But he just had he's got attacked. He's screaming, and next thing you know, the thing jumps off of him, hops away. Family comes down, is horrified seeing their son attacked with all these scratches on him and everything like that. Takes him to the hospital. Well, by the time that they get to the hospital and the doctors look at him, they kind of look at everyone of like, is this some sort of joke? All his cuts had healed to where it literally just looked like there was like these little yellow marks on where the scratches were. So it's kind of like if you've ever like if you ever got your skin, especially like if you ever gotten sunburn and you put your finger on your skin, you kind of like go across it, that little white little streak that shows before it goes back to being red. It's kind of like something like that, but they were a little bit yellow. But like where all the scratches were, it's like they were completely healed, and like they didn't even happen at all. So obviously that was perplexing enough as it is, trying to be like, wait, we just saw some of all these scratches, and then all of a sudden the scratches are gone. Uh, it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting story, and the only one that I'm aware of now. I could probably look a bit more, maybe find some other ones, but such a very interesting, idea of it and everything like that. And I don't know, it would be pretty cool if obviously I believe that chupacabra in some form or fashion does exist. More so the Puerto Rico alien looking one. I can't say for sure about the Texas the like canine one because there's just too much saying that it has to be just a normal animal with mange, but I can't say for sure. That's why I said there's a 70% chance. I'm feeling it's more of a most of them are animals with mange. 30% of maybe we don't know, or at least it's kind of like how I argued with the whole idea of um skinwalkers are of a Navajo thing in the west central part of the United States, and yet we have some sort of like skinwalker, changeling kind of creatures all over the world. So are they all skinwalkers, or are these like subspecies of skinwalkers, or just other weird creatures that do something similar? It's hard to say. So it's kind of like the same thing with this. Like are chupacabras like really that widespread, or is there something else going on and stuff like that? And it's hard to say, but definitely very cool nonetheless. And I think the chupacabra is probably it's probably like it's such a cool cryptid just in how different and unique it is compared to others. Like there's Bigfoot and stuff like that kind of thing, but very cool nonetheless. And I'm hoping I don't know. Unless someone can kill or capture one of these Puerto Rican ones that like looks more like alien, I feel like we probably may never truly know really what's going on with Chupacabra. I feel like we have a lot better chance of going and finding out with Bigfoot because it's only a matter of time till we figure out Bigfoot. And but like some of these other ones, it's hard to say. Like Dogman, maybe just on how little evidence there is of it compared to like Bigfoot. It's hard to say. Lizardman, maybe, probably not. Mothman, probably not. So the amount of cryptids that are the likely chances of actually getting physical evidence of to confirm them in some form or fashion is not many. But okay, hold on. I've got an idea for a future episode. Likely chance of cryptids being proven. Okay, I like that one. That'd be an interesting one because I'm trying to come up with besides just having like specific like episodes to talk about like specific topic like Chupacabra. I'm trying to maybe just get like a concept idea of not necessarily just a particular cryptid or particular cryptid type, but like maybe like the philosophy behind it, or like like how do they survive? The bodily impulsive mating, and like just a bunch of stuff like that. Like so, I'm trying to think of some other interesting ideas of stuff like that. If you have any ideas of nothing in a very particular sense, but just like some ideas involving like type of cryptids or just cryptids in general, put in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what people what people come up with and stuff like that. Oh, was there a Phillies game tonight? Oh, that's okay. That's just someone. That's just some other baseball team. Okay, I was like Phillies. I don't think the Phillies are playing right now. Anywho, so but yeah, so I don't know, pretty interesting nonetheless, and I I don't know. I personally don't think I'd ever want to run into one, but they're not very big. So if one came at me, I think I put up a good fight, but I may be overestimating myself and underestimating that thing because it may be small, but who all I know, it could be fast. Or well, obviously it's fast, but it could be like surprisingly strong kind of way, like a lot of other cryptids and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I gotta do those soon. Ooh, okay, that might be one in the next like month or so. I got a good idea for another one that I'm surprised I haven't done this one that either. So we'll see. Um, let's see. I think that's it. I really can't think of anything else, and I'm trying not to obviously like think of something to try to make up time and everything else like that. But what do you think? Do you think the chupacabra is a real thing? And what do you think about the Puerto Rican chupacabra and the more canine chupacabra? Do you think they are related in some way? You think there's something completely different, or you think like give me your thoughts about the chupacabra in general in the comments below, because comments help me out, because comments, likes, shares, and subscribes and all that gets me more suggested other people to follow the subscribe to the channel, because I think last time I checked we're still at 31, and so I'm trying to get to 100 by the end of the year. That's the goal, at least. Trying to think of a nice one, and then maybe a nice little 100 subscriber special episodes like that. But we're long from that, folks, so we'll see what happens when we get close to that. But yeah, Chupacabra, very fun one, very interesting one. Obviously, very big mystery in like what it actually is, how it's able to do what it could do, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I hope you all had fun with this one. I hope if you haven't heard Chupacabra before, you learned something about it, or if you have known Chupacabra before, hopefully you got different perspective on something, or you learned something, or something positive along those lines. Besides just having fun, of course, because that's all we're here for, is for fun and entertainment, and hopefully some knowledge sharing for sure. But yeah, so I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Like I said at the beginning, I've got a poll going on the Facebook page, facebook.com/CryptidTalk. Head over there and vote for what you want the next episode to be about. Because I think there were dinosaur cryptids, giant animals, Dover demon, and megalodon. Megalodon seems to be is winning at the moment. So get on over there and cast your votes. And then if people like the idea of this, like voting on which one to do, let me know, and because I wrote a bunch of them down onto a spreadsheet, and then I've got a coworker to pick these numbers, and these were the four he picked. So if you like the idea of this, let me know, and we'll do it again in the near future. Because it's kind of nice, being like, all right, let's let the viewers listen and pick on what they want to listen about next, and people seem to be liking Giant Shark, so we'll see. But yeah, I hope everyone's has a good weekend, a good Labor Day weekend, and stay safe and everything like that. And of course, if you or someone has seen something, any sort of evidence, a picture, a video, or something like that, send it my way. CryptidTalk91@AOL.com. Send this, I don't feel scared to send it my way. I know some people, feel like they might be laughed at or scrutinized or something like that. I won't. I've heard there's a lot of crazy stuff in this world, a lot, and I would never judge anyone on what you saw, because a lot of times a lot of these things people see, they didn't mean for it to happen. It just happened. They're at the wrong place at the wrong time, and next thing you know, they're seeing a dog man carrying a deer across the street, and they're freaking the hell out. So come to me. Let me be your outlet, stuff like that. And if you have any questions or anything like that, like about the topic or anything like that, email me. I love to talk with people and help people out if possible. Get closure or have an idea of what they saw. Like, I saw this thing. What is it? And I don't care if the story is long or short. Email them to me. I'm hoping to get enough emails to where maybe we can have like special episodes on where we have have like I just read people's stories and we talk about them. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And so send me those stories, or share it with a friend, share it on different cryptid pages and stuff like that. Like like spread the word, because the best way that this show does well is from your people, from you guys is all help. So I greatly appreciate it. Oh, and this probably won't happen anytime soon, but would you guys be interested? Because I'm trying to think of like shows to do, like maybe like in between episodes, or maybe like some special episode like once a month or stuff like that. But would you guys be interested if I got like a video recorder and like a sound recorder, and kind of just went out and did like little like expeditions in a way of like, all right, today we're going to the Pine Barrens to look for Bigfoot or the Jersey Devil, and like I'd record it and maybe like edit it, and like make a little movie out of it. Would that be something you guys would be interested in? Let me know in the comments below. And cause I would love to do something like that. Cause obviously just searching in general is always fun, but if I can do it to make it into like some sort of content that you all can enjoy, please let me know. I really would be interested in it. Um, and yeah, so I hope everyone has a good day. Stay safe. I care about all you. You're all my friends, and we're slowly building this family together, and hopefully we can build it to something great. Uh, so remember, keep your eyes and ears open for the creepiness in store, because you never know what you'll find outside of your door. This has been Cryptid Talk with Michael Madden. Have a good day, everyone.